Have you ever wished that you had a tiny little pocket-sized Android tablet that had a screen that flooped around to reveal controls underneath, like this? No? Yeah, me neither. They made one anyways though, so I guess let's try to figure out why. Hey there, how's it going? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video today. Sometimes in life, things come along that nobody asked for, like pop-up ads on your smart toaster, or TVs that shove 27 streaming apps in your face while you're just trying to plug in your Super Nintendo. But sometimes those things end up being good, like air fryers, or heated socks, or those little clips that hold your chip bag shut to protect your chip health. Humanity has achieved greatness a few times, so when something totally new comes along, I tend to be skeptical that it'll be any good, but also cautiously optimistic that it could be, and also open to the possibility that it'll change my life, and also open to the possibility that it will ruin society and lead me to living in a cave eating canned beans while my smart toaster bricks itself doing a firmware update. Again, which brings us to this. The RG Rotate. And let's get this out of the way. This is now called the RG FLOOP because it floops. See?
I flooped the pig. What?
This thing is a tiny little square Android thing, but you can floop the screen up and now it's a handheld. And then you can floop the screen down and it's not again. And so on and so forth until you realize it's been 15 minutes and your snack break is over and you wanted to play Chrono Trigger, but you ended up flooping your RG FLOOP the whole time instead. Again. It is very unique and I like the philosophy here. A handheld that is also a little square kind of mini Android phone thing. You get touchscreen Android stuff if you need that in your life, and also handheld gaming if you need that in your life, and also a fidget toy, which we all do need in our lives. So I'm into this for lots of reasons, and I'm also not into it for other reasons. But I'll tell you, as a reviewer of these stupid things, this does something that no other doodad does. It floops, and that alone makes me want this thing to succeed because it's fresh. Whether or not it actually does succeed is up to, well, me, I guess. This is my video, so I get to decide. You can grab this thing from Amberlick's website. Right now it's up there for $82 for the plastic black version or $99 for the metal version. That sale is only for the first few days, I think, and then after that both versions will go up by $5. You can also get it with an SD card, which I don't really recommend because their cards are pretty terrible. But if you wanted something pre-made and you don't mind janky, messy ROM sets, then sure, one of those cards might be worth considering. This bad boy is rocking the T618 chipset. That's the same chip that we had in the older Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, for reference. We also get 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage. The screen is 3.5 inches, 720 by 720 resolution, and it has Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 5.0, a 2000 mAh battery. It comes with Android 12. It's this big and it weighs this much. On the front, we have a screen. That's all we have on the front. Oh wait, no, there's more. It was just hiding. Under there, we have a D-pad and a function button, select and start, and some face buttons. On the left side, we have an SD card hole and volume up and down. And on the right, we have a power button and a reset button. Underneath, we have an Amberlick logo and a lanyard hole. Up top, we have bumpers and triggers and a USB-C hole. And around back, we have a back-facing speaker. No. There is a lot to talk about with the look and the feel of this thing. First off, I do think it looks awesome. I was kind of bummed I didn't get the plastic one because I'm not usually into metal doodads, but the second that I picked this up, I immediately went, oh. This thing feels super premium. Like a fancy old MP3 player from back when every gadget was made of brushed aluminum. Actually, their marketing shows people using it as a music player, which is funny to me because there's no headphone jack. So you'll be living the dongle life. Personally, I already have a phone that plays music. I don't know why people care about MP3 players in 2026, but if you wanted this to double as an MP3 player, you can do it, but it's probably just not going to be perfect for that. What I do like is that when it's closed, it's small, and when it's open, it's bigger, which is generally how I prefer my foldable rectangle technologies. For me, it's comfortable to hold. The ergonomics are good, and maybe a tiny bit top heavy, but I naturally rest my fingers behind the screen, so it kind of balances out. But this brings us to my first major problem this little nub right here. It is there to stop the screen from rotating too far when you close it, which is good. It's a good idea to protect the hinge or whatever, but this nub sits exactly where my finger naturally rests, and brother, this thing is sharp. Like weirdly sharp. It's like a hard CNC aluminum edge, and they did absolutely nothing to soften this. It rubs right against my knuckle, and it hurts. It actually hurts. My finger still hurts from yesterday. Considering that I'm like a full-time hand model at this point, I can't abide a device that impacts my finger health just by using it. Now, I can adjust my finger position to avoid it, and when I do, I honestly have no problems here. It's a great size, it's got great controls, it feels nice in my hands, so maybe it won't bother you as much. Maybe I'll even get used to avoiding the little aluminum caltrop of pain that they attach to the side of the screen. But so far, it's been a lot more of an issue than I would have ever expected. And we can't talk about the look and feel without talking about the main thing that sets this thing apart, the FLOOP. This thing is the first handheld that we've got that has a screen that does this. And honestly, it feels freaking amazing. It's easy to do with one hand. It has a satisfying as heck sound when it snaps into place. It's strong and firm. It's smooth and satisfying. It's fun. It's neat. Oh, and you can set the screen to do different stuff when you floop it. By default, it will go to the lock screen, which is a clock. Or you can have it stay on or just instantly sleep. That's what I've been doing. The bad news here is that every now and then the screen just doesn't automatically rotate. So I flip it open and it's still stuck on the side sometimes. And sometimes I accidentally press buttons when I open it one-handed. So I floop it and then I'm just taken right into some app that I didn't even want open. It's a bit sloppy, but it's not a problem most of the time. And I would be dumb not to mention that when the screen is down, this thing is super pocket friendly. And I'm not dumb. So let's send this over to Pocket Test Guy Temp to see if he agrees. Shall we? Oh, for sure. We totally will. But TechDweeb, I think you've forgotten that I'm not a temp anymore. See? No more temp tag. Right. You're technically not a temp. Yeah, just Pocket Test Guy now. You want to redo that part of the video? No, just do the test. It's fine. Okay, so the RG rotate FLOOP. Right, the RG FLOOP. This thing is big when it's open, but floop that screen down and it's suddenly really small. It slides in there super easy. It's got a nice simple square shape, no extra humps or whatever. It's comfy in there. The metal version is a little on the heavy side, but it's not too bad at all. You know what? This is actually awesome for the pocket. I'll give this 9 out of 10 for pocketability. And the plastic version might do even better because it's lighter. Hope this helps. Yeah, that was great. Good job, thanks. Anytime, TechDweeb. You can leave now, Pocket Test Guy. All right, have a great rest of your video. Temp. The controls are all kind of the same. The buttons and the bumpers and the triggers, the D-pad, the function buttons, they're all low travel and clicky, but not too loud, and they all feel really good. I actually have no problems whatsoever with the D-pad. It's very precise feeling, no issues pulling off special moves in fighting games. The only minor issue I have is that the controls are inset. The lip of the device sometimes gets in the way of my thumb when I'm playing games, but I got used to that pretty quick, and I really have zero issues with any of the controls. They all feel great to me, and I love gaming on this thing. If you want to change the D-pad to act like a stick, you can press volume up and the power button, and it'll toggle to the different style of inputs. It'll still have 8-way D-pad input, obviously, but the app will think that it's a stick, which is useful for lots of games that are technically playable on a D-pad, but annoying if you have to swap back and forth. Oh, and you can swap out the triggers for raised triggers. You get the extra triggers in the box if you want to do that. The screen on this is a real Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation. Not because you can play Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on NES on here, even though you can. I mean because this screen is really good, but there is evil lurking below the surface. This is a 3.5-inch 720 by 720 screen, which ends up being kind of fantastic for retro games. 4x3 stuff is a little smaller than something like the RG 35XXSP, but the higher resolution means that the scaling looks really nice. Even non-integer scaled games still look balanced and clean, especially with interpolation shaders. The systems that are kind of square, like Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Neo Geo Pocket, all that stuff looks super crisp and chunky in the best way. I love playing that stuff on here. The 8x7 stuff like Nintendo and Super Nintendo and TurboGrafx 16, that all scales really nicely too. Game Boy Advance is especially great because the 720p horizontal resolution gives you perfect integer scaling. Even PSP is surprisingly playable. I fired up a PSP game expecting to hate it and make fun of it, and then I accidentally had fun and had to confront the possibility that I was the problem. But there is a darkness within this screen, a curse, a plague upon my eyeballs, the dreaded over-sharpening. Yeah, that's right. Amberlick did it again. There's this system-wide sharpening filter over everything. Games, menus, Android UI, all of it. And it looks awful. So for a quick explanation, sharpening basically adds bright halos and dark outlines around edges to make things feel clearer, like you can see in this mock-up on the screen. Sharpening is useful to make blurry images look sharper, but when you use it on images that are already sharp, it just looks gross for no reason. It's hard to show on camera, but once you notice it, you can't unsee it. And when you apply it to pixel art, it makes everything look filtered and fake. Why did they keep doing this? Why? Why, Amberlick? Why? Now, to be fair, it's not as aggressive here as some of their other devices, and maybe you won't care at all, or at least as much as I do. And Gamma OS will probably fix it too if that comes to this device, but just the fact that we even need to fix it is what drives me nuts. Okay, moving on. The sound. It's really, really bad. The only reason it sucks is because we have one single back-facing speaker, so it sounds distant and muffled. Also, it's back here where my fingers are, and sometimes my finger covers the hole, so my games start doing this whenever my fingers get busy. I mean, you can play games, you can hear the games, it's not the end of the world, it's just a baffling choice that confuses me, and I don't need any help with being confused. I do that all by myself without back-facing mono speakers making it way worse. The system that we have on here is pretty typical Amberlick stuff. It's got the RG launcher, which is like a bare bones yet competent launcher. It comes with emulators installed and set up, so you don't need to do nothing, but it's got the emulators are kind of weird and outdated versions, so if you want the best experience, you can wipe it clean and download your own emulators and front end. That's what I did. I installed ESDE for my front end, and I added my own SD card full of games. Oh, actually, let's quickly mention that Amberlick's SD card sucks, as always. Just weird ROM sets full of weird versions of games and foreign language games, weird screenshots, and they did the numbers in front of the names thing, so it's hard to scroll through and find the one game you want to play. It baffles me that Amberlick still can't figure out how to make a good SD card. Heck, I would do it for free. Amberlick, if you want me to make a good card, just reach out and I'll do it. It'll take me like an hour and it'll be 10 times better than these garbage cards you've been selling for way more than they're worth. Oh geez, I'm fired up today. I'm gonna take a quick little break to have some gummy bears to calm myself down. One thing that I do appreciate is that Amberlick included some nice overlays that are made specifically for this screen. They have like a Game Boy border and a CRT looking thing for the 4x3 systems and even an arcade stick thing for the arcade games. I actually like these and I'm going to be using these for some systems. Good job on that, Amberlick. They have a music player on here that's for playing music. It's weird. I could barely figure out how to use it. And I'm TechDweeb. It's Android though. And you do get the Google Play Store, so just go install whatever music player you want on here, like you can on any other Android handheld. Despite all my gripes, when you yank this thing out of your pocket, floop the screen, and you're taken into your front end, and you fire up a game and you start playing, the whole experience comes together beautifully. Depending on what you're playing. This is a sub $100 handheld, so don't expect to be playing a ton of GameCube and PS2 or whatever. You can play a few of those games, especially if you use the special versions of the emulators and do a bunch of tinkering, but like don't expect most stuff to work. You should expect to play everything up to and including N64 and Dreamcast and PSP. All that stuff will play no problem at all. Actually, if you want to know what'll run on here, check out some of the old reviews of the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. This is the same chipset and the performance here will be more or less the same. If you're into the older stuff, like me, you'll have a great time here. Arcade, NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, Sega Genesis, DOS games, PS1, Nintendo DS, and N64 and Dreamcast and PSP, which is kind of cool considering the form factor of this thing. I think when we got a first look at this, Everyone thought it was neat, but it wasn't going to be able to play much beyond the classic retro stuff. But it's impressive what we get out of this thing, and it all plays well, with the exception of the games that need true analog stick movement, obviously, because we don't have an actual stick, just a fake stick. Real quick about the battery, I did 2 tests. On the high end, at 50% screen brightness with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth turned off, while playing a GameCube game that it could barely handle, I calculated about 2.5 hours of game time. And on the low end, playing a Game Boy game with no shaders or overlays or anything, I calculated a little over 6 hours of game time. Considering we only have a 2000 milliamp hour battery, that's solid game times. Just don't expect this thing to last all day, or multiple days. It does charge nice and quick, so it's got that going for it. This is one device that I was torn on. There is lots I like, but also lots I don't like. My main gripes are the sound quality, the over-sharpening, and the razor-sharp nubby nub that wants to tear my finger off. But I can easily see those issues not really being a problem for some users. And honestly, maybe totally forgivable considering the price? I don't know. I'll leave that up for you to decide. All I can do is tell you what I think of this thing, and what I think is, it's unique, it's annoying in some ways, but interesting in other ways. It feels premium, it's pocketable, it's weird, and ultimately it's something I can't even decide if I actually like it all that much. But one thing I know for sure 100% is that it is fun as heck to floop. I'm TechDweeb, thanks for watching, bye bye!